good.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I'm sick at heart.
Have you had a quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Francisco and Horatio, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them now. Stand ho! Who's there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Hello, Bernardo.
Say what? Is Horatio there?
Peace of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore, I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have two nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns. Marcellus and myself, the bell, then beat
Break the oath where it comes again!
in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio!
Looks he not like the king mark it, Horatio?
Most like, it harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Speak to it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven I charge thee, speak!
It is the vengeance!
See, it stalks away.
Stay! Speak! Speak, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
For my God, I might not disbelieve, without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blasphemy. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's state, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast abhorred in thy life extorted treasures in the wombs of the earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike it with my partisan?
Who if it will not stand?
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone! We do it wrong being so majestical to offer the show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his loft and shrill sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine. And the truth herein, this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, this bird of dawning singeth all night long. Then they say no spirits dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome. Then no planet takes, no fairy strikes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is that time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Great Ware, watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, done to us, will speak to her. Do consent, we shall acquaint her with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty.
Let's do it, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most convenient.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us be fitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as for with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth and funeral, and dirge and marriage in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is Laertes? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave in favor to return to France, from whence though willingly I came to Denmark, to show my duty in your coronation. Yet I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
Hath my lord run from me my slow leave, by laborsome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my heart's consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin, Hamlet, and my child.
Little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lid seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, 'tis common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspirations of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected havior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passes show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, and that father lost his. And the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unseemly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled. For what we know must be and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Why? 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first course till he that died today. This must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility and love than that which dearest father bears his own do I impart towards you.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Oh, why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Come, madam. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the king rouse the heaven shall brew it again. The speaking earthly thunder, come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember how she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet, within a month, let me not think on it, frailty, thy name is woman! Within a month, ere yet those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears. Why she, even she, oh God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I, to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets, it is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your ladyship.
I'm glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my liege, and your poor servants ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. But what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus,
My good lady.
I'm glad to see you well. Good evening, sir. What in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A true indisposition by my faith.
I would not hear your enemies say so, nor shall you do mine near that violence to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My liege, I came to see your father's funeral.
Prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I'd lived to see that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my liege?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once.
He was
a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all, I shall not look upon his like again.
My lady, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
Saw him, the king your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Barnardo, on their watch, in the dead waste, in middle of the night, and thus encountered a figure like your father, armed at point exactly Kappa P, appears before them in the solemn march, goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walks by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, within his truncheon's length, whilst they distilled, almost to jelly, with the act of fear stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me, in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I, with them the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time, form the thing, each word, be true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lady, on the platform where we watch.
And did you not speak to it?
My liege, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk and hasted away and vanished from our sight.
It is very strange. I will watch tonight, perchance to walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So, fare you well, upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, all visit me.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves, as mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well, I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come, till then, sit still, my soul, foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes. The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
think it lacks its 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then draws upon the season where the spirit held his wont to walk. Look, it comes!
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us! Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intent wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. What may this mean? That thou, dead corse again incomplete, still revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous and we fools of nature, so horridly to shake our dispositions with thoughts beyond the reaches of our soul. Say, why is this? Wherefore, what should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it some impartment to desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
Will not speak, then I will follow.
Do not, my liege.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempts you toward the flood, my liege? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form that may deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it. The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath.
It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
She waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not in us to obey her.
Have after to what issue will this come?
Something is brought into the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow her.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come. Night is sulphurous and tormenting flames have spread throughout my soul.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing what I shall unfold.
Speak. I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night. If thou wouldst sever thy dear father love,
Oh God.
revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul is in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt, and dull shouldst thou be in the fat weed that roots itself in me as on leafy wharf, wouldst thou not stir in this? Now Hamlet here. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by aborted process of my death, rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my pathetic soul. My uncle!
Soft. Methinks I sense the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour that uncle stole, with juice of cursed heaven and of isle, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distillment, whose effect thus was I sleeping, my brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, cut off, even the blossoms of my sin, unhouseled, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account, with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horror, most horror! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Adieu, 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 remember me.
Oh, all you hosts of heaven! Oh, earth, what else shall I couple hell? Hi. Hold, my heart. And you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee. I, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven! Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain, smiling, damned villain! My tables, meet it as I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in all Denmark.
How is my noble lady?
Oh, what news?
Oh, wonderful!
Could lady tell it?
No. You'll reveal it.
Not I, my liege, by heaven.
Nor I, my lady.
Oh, heart of man, men think it. But you'll be secret.
I, by heaven,
we will.
There's neither villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost, my liege, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are right. And so? Without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is. As for mine own poor part, look you all go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my liege.
Sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, very heartily.
There's no offense, my liege.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is ratio, and much offense too, touching this vision here. 'Tis an honest ghost, that let me tell you. Now, for your desire to know what is between us, overmaster it, as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lady? We will.
Never make known what you have seen here tonight.
My lady, we will not.
Nay, swear it. Oh.
Faith, my liege, not I.
Nor I, my liege, in vain.
And still your fingers on your lips. The time is out of joint. Cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together. Be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off our mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrongs, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and spurns that patient merit of the unworthy makes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. Thus, the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with disregard, their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have long and long to redeliver. I pray now you receive them.
No, not I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest? My lord, are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Good beauty, my lord, had better commerce than with honesty.
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd, than the force of honesty can translate beauty into its likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our own stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things, that it were better my mother had not borne me. I'm very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the door be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own household. Farewell.
Oh, helper, you sweet heavens!
I could of your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourself another. You jig and amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll go more on it. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown! The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies, most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of her music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of time and harsh, that unmatched form and stature of blown you blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I've seen. See what I see.
dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward being resembles that it was. What it should be, that thus hath put her so far from the understanding of herself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with her, and sit so neighbored to her youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies you may draw her unto pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean. Whether aught to us unknown afflicts her thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
And sure I am, two souls there are not living to whom she more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much goodwill and gentry, as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remember.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasure more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves to the full bent, to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz, and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern, and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you to instantly visit my too much changed child. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlefolk where Hamlet is.
Heavens make our presence and practices pleasant and helpful for her.
Aye, amen.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, what day is day, night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble child is mad. Mad, call I it, for to define true madness, what is't but to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madame, I swear, I use no art at all. That she's mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity, 'tis true, a foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant her then, and thus remains that we should find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause, thus it remains, and the remainder thus.
But look where savage poor wretch comes reading.
Away! I do beseech you both, away. I'll board her presently. Oh, give me leave! How does good Lady Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, lady?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lady.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lady.
Aye, truly. For to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lady.
For the sun breed maggots and a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I had, my lady.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend. Look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter, yet she knew me not at first. She said I was a fishmonger. She is far gone. What do you read, my lady?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lady?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lady.
Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, that their eyes are purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands, all which, sir, that I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, shall grow old as I am, if like a crab you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lady?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes her replies are. A happiness that madness often hits upon, which reason and sanity could not so prosperously be delivered of. My lady, I will take my leave of you.
Ah, you cannot, sir, take anything from me that I will more willingly part with all, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lady.
These tedious old fools. good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither.
Prison, my liege.
Denmark's a prison.
Oh, then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lady.
Why then, 'tis none to you. But there is nothing, either good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
What? Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly. And I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggar shadows. Show me to the court, for by my fay I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. But, in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lady. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am, I leave in foreign thanks. But I thank you, dear friends, and to be sure, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it of your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, they speak. What should we say?
My lady.
Anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. And there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lady?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved blood, and by what more dear a better proposer can charge you withal, be even indirect with me whether you were sent for or no.
Well, what say you?
Me then, I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off. My lady, we were sent for. I shall tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen mote no better. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me nothing but a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with gold and fire, why it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel; in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lady, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why then did you laugh when I said man delights not me?
To think, my liege, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coded them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer your service.
There are the players!
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore, but my uncle father and my aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lady?
I'm mad, north-northwest, when the wind is southerly. I know a hop from a handsaw.
Well, be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, guilty sir, and you too, as each ear-hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of the swaddling clouds.
Haply he is the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players' market. Why, you say right, sir. A Monday morning 'twas then indeed.
My lady, I have news to tell.
It is well. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Here, let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you would better have a bad epitaph than their ill reports while you live.
My lady, I will use them according to their desert.
Good bodykins, man, much better. Use every man after his desert, and who shall escape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merits in your bounty. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzaga? We'll have tomorrow night. You could for a need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it, could you not? Very well. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lady.
Quite so. Goodbye to you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malfactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something, like the murder of my father, before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick. If he do blench, I'll know my course. The spirit I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholies, he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. No, speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. It offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. Oh, be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance that you overstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, to scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent. In faith of the chameleon's dish, I eat the air, promised Grant. You cannot be capable so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine not. Good my lord, you played once in the university, you said?
That did I, my lady, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a cat there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lady, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, good Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
are welcome.
No, my lady! This courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
I cannot, sir.
What, my lady?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased, but such answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more but to the matter. My mother, you say.
Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into astonishment and admiration.
Oh, wonderful child that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration? In part.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
Oh, we shall obey her. Were she 10 times our mother? Have you any further trade with us?
My lady, you once did love me.
And do still. By these pickers and stealers.
Good, my lady. What is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, truly, but while the grass grows. And the proverb is something musty. Come, the recorder, let me see one. To withdraw with you, sir. Why do you go about to recover the wind in me as if to drive me into a toil?
Oh, my liege, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lady, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my liege.
Why, 'tis as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. But look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now. How unworthy a thing you would make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest compass to the top of my note, and there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Blood, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, but you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Ah, God bless you, sir.
Hamlet the Queen would speak with you, and presently.
Ah, do you see yonder cloud almost in shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis very like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent, but I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes out contagion onto this world. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft now, to my mother.
My lord, she's going to her mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself. To hear the process, I warrant she'll tax her home, and, as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear the speech of vantage. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed, and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man, double business bound, I stand in pause, where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront this visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force? To be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offenses? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. 'Tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature. And we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. Oh, lioned soul, that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make essay. Bow, stubborn knees and heart, with strings of steel be soft as the sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now need I do it pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it, and so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole child, do send the same villain to heaven. Why, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, with all his crimes, broad blown as flush as May, and how his audit stands, who knows save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged? To take him and the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid head, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasures of his bed, at game, a swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him, that his heels might kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
She will come straight. Look you, lay home to her. Tell her her pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that thy grace hath screened and stood between much heat and her. I'll silence be even here. Pray you, be round with her.
Mother! Mother! Mother!
I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw if you're ever coming.
Mother! What's the matter now?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can't speak.
Oh, come, come, and sit you down. You shall not budge, you go not, till I may set you up a glass, where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me! Help! Oh!
What? Oh, help!
How no, rat? Oh, dead for a duck, dead!
Oh, I am slain!
What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not, is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed! Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother!
The king!
Ay, lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune, thou findest to be too busy as some danger. your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff. If damned custom have not raised it so that it be proven bulwark against sense.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face doth glow over the solidity, and compound mass with heated visages against the doom is thought sick at the act.
I mean what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look you, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. This was your husband. Look you now, it follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes?
Speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in my ears. No more, sweet
A
Hamlet.
murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent lord.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches and... Save me, and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guard. What would your gracious figure? Alas, she's mad. Do not come your tardy child to chide. That lapsed in time and passion, let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say,
Alas, how is with you that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do full discourse? Forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair like light and excrement stirred up and stand an end. Oh, gentle girl on the heat, flame of thy deceiver, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
on him. On him, look you, how pale he glares. His form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
Who do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all that is, I see.
Did you nothing hear?
Nothing but ourselves.
Look you how it steals away. My father in his habit having lived. Look you even now how he goes out of the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy. My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and make as helpful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword which madness would gamble from. Mother, for the love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them rancor.
But thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. So this same Lord I do repent, that heaven hath pleased itself to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and their minister. I will bestow him, and answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. This bad begins, and worse remains behind. Good night, mother. This counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Oh, my own Lord, what I have seen tonight.
What, Gertrude? How is Hamlet?
Mad as the wind and sea would both contend, which is the mightier. In her lull, the spirit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out a knife and cries a rat. A rat that in his brain
threats to all, to you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It would be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young girl. But so much was our love, we could not understand what was most fit, but like the owner of a fowl diseased to keep it from divulging, let it feed, even on the pith of life. Where is she gone?
To draw from the body she hath killed, or whom her very madness, like some ore in a mineral of men's face, shows itself here, she weeps for what is done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay. How now? What hath befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from her.
But where is she?
Without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring her before us. Now, Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are enacted. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us. We fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar are but variable service. 2 dishes but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas.
Alas! A man may fish of the worm that hath fed of a king, and eat of that fish that hath fed of that worm.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. Indeed, if you find him not within that place, seek him in the other place yourself.
Let us seek him there.
He shall stay till you come. All occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man? His chief object and market of his time be but to sleep and feed, a beast no more. Sure he that made us, with such large discourse looking before and after, gave us not that capability, and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause, and will, and strength, and means to do it all from this time forth. My thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next her child gone, and she most violent author of her own just remove. The people thick, muddied, and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers. For good Polonius' death have we done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures, or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these. Laertes is in secret, come from France. Feeds on wonders, keeps himself in clouds, wants not buzzers to infect his ears with pestilent speeches of his father's death, wherein necessity of matter beggared will nothing stick our person to arraign in ear and ear. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this, like to emerge in peace in many places, gives me superfluous death. Attend! What's the matter?
The ocean of the fury of its bliss does not deflaps with more piteous haste than young Laertes, who in a riotous head o'erthrows your officers. The rabble call him lord, and as though the world were but now to begin, antiquity forgotten, custom not known, the ratifiers and props of every word, they cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king, Laertes king.
Laertes king!
Cheerful and bold shall they cry. This is countering false, pagan laws!
The doors are broken.
Where is this king? Give my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that con proclaims me bastard, cries coupled to my father, and brands the harlot, even here between the chaste, unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, good Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There is such divinity doth hedge a king, that treason can but peep to what it would act little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be troubled. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand, that both the worlds I give to negligence, let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father. Now, what noise is that? Oh, heat dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heavens, thy madness shall be paid with weight till our scale turn the beam. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. O heavens, is it possible that a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life? Nature is fine in love, and where 'tis fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
Fare you well, my dove.
Hast thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge it could not move thus? This, nothing more than matters.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember.
There's pansies. That's for thoughts.
A document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbine.
There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call an herb of grace of some days. You must wear your rue with indifference.
There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
Thought in affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns the favor into prettiness.
And of all Christian souls I pray God. God be with you.
Do you see this? Oh God!
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart. Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give. Our crown, our life, all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But, if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, that we may jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral. No trophy, sword, nor hatchman or his bones. No noble right, nor formal ostentation. Cry to be heard as from heaven to earth. That I must call into question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. Now must your conscience my acquittance seal. And you must put me in your heart for friend, sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that she which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
It well appears, but tell me why you proceed not against these feats, so criminal and so capital in nature, as by your greatness, safety, wisdom, all things else you were mainly stirred up.
Oh, for two special reasons, which to you perhaps may seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they're strong. The queen, her mother, lives almost by her looks, and for myself, my virtue or my plague, be it either which, she is so conjunctive to my life and soul, that as a star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive why to a public count I might not go, is the great love the general gender bear her, who, dipping all her faults in their affections, work, like a spring that turneth wood to stone, convert her guides to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted back to my bow again, but not where I have aimed them.
And so have I, a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know love is begun by time, and that I see in passages of proof time qualifies the spark and fire of it. Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself indeed your father's son, more than in words?
To cut her throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder's sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chambers. Hamlet return shall know you are come home. We'll put on those, shall praise your excellence, and wager on your heads. She, being remiss, most generous, and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils. So that with ease, or a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice, requite her for your father.
I will do this. For this purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death, that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gal her slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh what convenience both of time and means should fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and through our drift look our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore this project should have a back, or a second if this did blast in proof. Soft, let me see. You make a solemn wager on your cunnings. I have. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and she calls for a cup, I'll have prepared her a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if she by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. But say, what noise?
What woe doth tread upon another's heel so fast they follow? Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There's a pillow grows askance the book that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make rose flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. The liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids through dead men's fingers call them. There, on a pendant bough, her coronet weeds clamoring to hang an envious sliver broke. When down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the leaping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old lauds, as one incapable of her own distress, or as a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be till that her garments heavy with their drink pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned. water hast thou, poor Ophelia. Therefore, I forbid my tears. But it is our trick, nature, her custom hold. Let shame say what it will. When these are out, the woman will be gone. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech that fire fain would place, but this folly drowns it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I have you to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again, therefore let's follow.
She is. Therefore, make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her and finds it a Christian burial.
How can that be unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
What? Just found so.
It must be say offendendo. It cannot be else, for here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath 3 branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man, tell
Give me these. Here lies the water. Good.
Here stands the man.
Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is, will he, nil he goes, mark you that. But if the water come to the man and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Ay, marry, is it? Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out to Christian burial.
There thou sayest, and more pity that gentle folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade! There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and gravemakers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
Why, he was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What? Art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself. What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker. For that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those who do ill. Now thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Good, come.
Who builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Ha ha, Mary! Now I can tell you. Mass. I cannot tell.
Cuddle thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday.
Ow!
Go get thee in and touch me a stupid beggar. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract of a time for a mighty home. Oh, methought there was nothing of me.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business? He sings in grave-making.
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
E'en so the hand of little employment hath the daintier sense.
But age, with his stealing steps, hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land, as if I had never been
lady.
Or of courtier, which could say, Mara, sweet lord, how dost thou, sweet lord? This might be my lord such a one that praised my lord such a one's horse when he went to beg it. Might not.
Aye, my lady.
Mine, sir. I will speak to this fellow. Who praises, sir?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for two to be made from such a guest as me.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it. Yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore, thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie. 'Twill await it for me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was that very day that young Hamlet was born. She that is mad.
How came she mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely.
Faith, even in losing her wit.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I've been sexton here 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die. As we have many pocky courses nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in. He'll last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why his hide is so tanned with his trade, he will keep out water a great while. Here is a skull. Now have lying you in the earth 3 and 20 years.
This was it.
A whoreson, mad fellows it was! Whose name it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him. For a mad rogue! He poured a flagon of Rangers on my head once. The same skull was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This.
In that.
Let me see it. Alas, poor York. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath bore me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination it is. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lady?
Dost thou think Alexander looked o' this fashion in the earth?
Even so.
It smelt so. Ha!
Even so, my lady.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio. Alas, what noise is this? Here comes the king, the queen, the courtiers. And who is this they follow? And with such name and rights, this doth betoken the course they follow did with desperate hand foredue its own life. Was of some estate, couch we a while in mark.
Oh, treble woe. Fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, tear or top old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he, whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars, and makes them stand like wander-wounded hearers? It is I, Hamlet the Dane!
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I pray thee, take my fingers from my throat, for though I am not splendid and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off thy hand!
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet!
Good, my lady, hold!
I will fight him upon this beam until my eyelids will no longer work!
Oh, my child, what theme?
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity make up my love. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, she is mad, Laertes.
For love of God, forbear her. This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on her.
Hear you, sir, what is the reason you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do dog will have its day.
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon her. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your child. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet thereby shall we see. Till then in patience our proceeding be.
There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, why 'tis now. If it be not now, why yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man of Ophelia's knows what is it to leave the times, let be.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir, I've done you wrong, but pardon it as you are gentle. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard how I am punished with a sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim, was madness. Was it Hamlet wronged Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from herself be taken away, and when she is not herself does wrong Laertes, Hamlet does it not, Hamlet denies it, who does it then? Her madness. If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wronged, her madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot the arrow over the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to wrong my revenge. But in my terms of honor, I will stand aloof and will no reconcilement till by some elder masters of known honor I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time, I do receive your offered love like love, and I will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils. Come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall like a star in the darkest night stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me?
No, by this hand.
Set me the stoops of wine upon the table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer to the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cups and union shall he throw, richer than which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cup. And let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannon to the heavens to earth. And now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come. By someone caught to mine own spring, my lord. I'm justly killed with my
thine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, no, the drake! The drake! Oh, sweet Hamlet, the drake! The drake! I am worthy! Oh, nobody! Let the doors be shut! Treachery, seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour's life. Oh, the treacherous instrument in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother poisoned. I can no more. The king is to blame.
The point! Envenom too! Then venom! To thy work!
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane! Drink off this potion as I go in here! Follow my mother!
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me. Noble Hamlet, mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee.
I'm dead, Horatio.
Wretched queen, adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this chance that are but muted an audience to this act, had I but the time. As this fell Sergeant Death stripped in his arrest, oh, I could tell you. But it is no matter. Let it be, Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report to me in my cause a right to be unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go! By heaven, I'll hack! God, Horatio, what a wounded name being standing thus unknown I leave behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in vain to tell my story. The rest is silence.
And now cracks the noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. Flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.